So this one says, which statement describes the end behavior of the function f of x is equal to 3 times the absolute value of x minus 7 minus 7. And then as I read the options, it says, as x approaches negative infinity, f of x approaches negative infinity. As x approaches negative infinity, f of x approaches positive infinity. So these are end behavior questions, right? So what do you think is the best way to approach this? How can I figure out which one of these choices is the right one? I'm just going to graph it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let me pull up my little calculator thingy here. I'm going to plug this in and see what we get. So I go to y equals, I got to clear out some things here. I'm going to say 3 times, now for the absolute value bracket, let me just pull this over here so you guys can see this. For the absolute value bracket, if I hit math, and I think it's number, yeah, it's the very first one under number, so just move your cursor over. When I click that, that gives me my absolute value bracket. So then I'm going to hit x minus 7, and then we're going outside of the absolute value bracket, and then I'm going to subtract 7 again. So now I'm just going to graph it. So for this one, I'm going to do a thing called zoom fit, because this might be outside of the regular window of 10 to negative 10 or negative 10 to 10. All right, so this is what I'm really interested in, is the end behavior. I'll make this a little smaller so it fits. So it says, as x approaches negative infinity, f of x approaches negative infinity. So now remember, on this thing, this is my x value, and if I go to the left, I'm approaching negative infinity. So I got to think about this graph as I go this way. What is it doing f of x? Remember, the f of x is a fancy way of saying y. What is the y value doing? It's going up. So it doesn't approach negative infinity at all. It approaches positive infinity. So this one's not right. B says as x approaches negative infinity. In other words, as I follow the graph to the left, what is the y value doing? It's increasing. Will it stop? No, it'll just keep going right off the page. So B is actually the answer. Okay, so as x approaches positive infinity, our f of x seems to approach positive infinity. So B is the correct answer. And I'm stopping there because it says which statement. There's a good test taking skill to have. Does it say statements? No, it's not plural. So that means there's one answer. So as soon as I find one thing that's true, then that's it, I'm done. Now, if it had S, if it said which statements, I would go through all 4 of those statements to figure out which ones were true. Let me leave that up there for you guys for just a second.